This project is a visual representation of the things that happened, which led me to begin my activism, which was getting tear gassed by the police in Athens, Georgia on May 31st, 2020. I and other members of the community decided to be out in the streets protesting for Black rights and equity and safety and the removal of that Confederate monument, which is no longer in the middle of Athens, thank goodness. I stepped back into my artistry and decided that I wanted to give people the other side of myself that they didn't see this summer, which was my musical side. I combined the footage that I had with music that I made and honest commentary about how I was feeling, because when I was out in the streets, I felt like I couldn't be angry. I felt like I couldn't express myself because I had to worry about the safety of myself and others. And so I had to be consumable to the environment around me. And this piece was more of a representation of my honesty behind closed doors and like just my everyday struggle of being a Black woman and artist in Athens and in America.
I'll never forget feeling like I didn't do enough. I was out there for 100 days straight, and I still feel like I didn't do enough. I gave up so much, and my town looked to me like I was a hero for doing the right thing, and I didn't understand it. It was really overwhelming, and I didn't do it to get rewarded. I had a lot on the table. I had a record deal, a tour, an album, everything I could have ever wanted. But I heard the cries of my community members, and to me that spoke deeper than my own desires to have everything I ever wanted. You know, people were in the streets, hungry, sick, dying, getting evicted. We're in the middle of a pandemic and fighting racism. Black people don't want to leave the house because we're tired, we're scared. We're scared that we're gonna get targeted by the police. We're tired of white people asking us to share our trauma experiences so they can get a better understanding of what racism in America looks like. But you don't have to talk to anybody Black to know what that looks like. You can Google it. You can turn on the TV. Every day there's something else. There's another Black person being victimized by this vicious system. And I didn't feel like it was an appropriate time for me to promote an album, especially not in the name of Black people dying and being killed. Everybody told me I should drop an album because I gained a following from organizing protests, and everyone said I should talk about my experiences from the work I did to the pain I felt, but I didn't sacrifice my life for creative material. That's not why I chose to be a part of this movement. I sacrificed everything from my opportunity to my sanity because I'm a Black woman. I feel the pain of racism every day. I've felt it my whole life, and it's not changing for me. You know, I could have been Breonna Taylor, and there's no promise that I won't be tomorrow. I felt like I had to use my voice because there are so many Black men and women who can no longer use their voices. And after getting tear gassed by the police department in Athens, Georgia for peacefully protesting on May 31st, on June 1st, I woke up at 9 a.m. and went right back out into the streets and stood alone. And I decided to switch my focus from music to activism. And I didn't have a large following, but with the platform of about 1,000, I thought maybe I could reach a few. And maybe they'll reach a few. And we did. We were able to pool our resources together and really help people in need while taking a stand against racism as a community in solidarity. It was such a beautiful thing. I didn't even think it was possible, and I didn't even mean for it to happen. As an artist, I was really frustrated because I wanted to make music and I wanted to be back in the studio so bad, but I knew that if I didn't go out and fight for what I believed in, no one was gonna fight for it for me. My music wasn't putting clothes on these kids' backs and food on people's tables. It wasn't keeping people from being evicted. Not yet, at least. But I knew the power of building community could do way more than my music could ever do. I'm basically a nobody. And that's fine. I'm a nobody that did something for people, and I'm okay with that. As an artist who's really supported by my community, I felt like I needed to be in these streets with my community rather than in a studio making music. And there were so many artists that were only showing up to protest to capture footage for their music videos. These white rappers making hip-hop music, wanting support from the Black community, but being completely silent about racism and refusing to stand up for anything. Or making songs about racism, capping like it's actually for black people, knowing it's for their own platform. Just riding the wave of social justice, but not actually standing for it. It was really hard not to feel resentment towards a lot of my peers in music, because it's like I was out there alone and I felt like, where are y'all? Like, as much as y'all talk about being in these streets, why aren't y'all out here? This work is traumatizing and requires unity. And I already felt like I got a target on my back. I got the police department stalking me, surveilling me. I had the Sons of the Confederacy trying to kill me. Dudes that were the loudest about protecting black women were sexually harassing me and tone checking me because they didn't like how I was doing things. Most days it felt like it was me versus everybody, and everybody was still looking to me for leadership. And I was really struggling in my faith, asking God, why did you pick me to be in this position? Because I didn't even feel like I was equipped to be a leader. I just wanted to do the right thing for my community. So many days I didn't want to go out there. But I didn't want to be looking back on my life 20 years from now, regretting not standing up for what I believe in, for what my ancestors died for. Who would I be if I didn't stand up for this? My grandfather was active in the civil rights movement. He's 75 years old. He still stays over on Bankhead, and I go visit him once a week, and we talk about what's going on in the world. He says it's harder now than it was then because racism has taken on such a different form. You can feel it, but you can't see it like you could back in the day. It really is an uphill battle, and I'm just gonna keep fighting. And hopefully I'll be remembered as somebody who did more good than harm. My life was really on the line, and it was a worthy sacrifice, and hopefully 20, 30 years from now, I'll be telling my kids about this and they won't be fighting the same fight that we were fighting, that my grandparents were fighting. This fight took such a toll on my mind, body, and spirit. But it's not over. I really did what I could. And I still feel like I didn't do enough, and that's why I keep going. Because who the fuck would I be if I wasn't standing up for my beliefs? I'd be a fucking coward.
Every day I'm fighting, I think I'm getting closer. I can feel the chrome on me hanging from the holster. Do it now, shoot it out, broken getting broken. 2018 doctors had to pull me out of coma. Baby, lost my life once or twice. I met death and he was nice. Held my hand when I was damned. Passed me off to brother Christ. Break my heart, save my soul. Break my mind, but I won't fold. Always better off never doing what I'm told. It's fucked up, but somebody had to do it. Yeah, I fucked up my mind, putting myself through it. I was roughed up by the world, but baby, screw it. I was born to take the world face on my granny knew it. I grew up a bandit. I was cut from steel and my heart is made of granite. I don't know how to feel till I'm down and cannot manage the aftermath of real. It changed my life forever. I'm underneath the heel. They put me under pressure and thought I couldn't fight it. I tried to do it better and they tried to keep me quiet, but I'm too hard to measure and that's all part of the science. They lucky I chose kindness cause I really wanna riot, baby. I really wanna riot. I really wanna riot. Wanna riot.